body. That's a wide body.
Panther Nation, Panther Nation, Panther Nation. Y'all let me know what's good. It's your favorite armchair GM. All right. Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. This is whew, Lord have mercy. This is a mess. This is a mess, y'all. And I know I usually get on here and be like, I ain't gonna hold y'all long tonight. I mean that tonight. I ain't got a whole lot to say about that travesty that we saw on the field yesterday. Not a whole lot at all. Do have a couple things I wanna, look at and point out and yeah. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. All right. So first off, I thank everybody for joining. I thank everybody for joining a podcast talking about that sorry behind team that we saw on the field yesterday. So first of all, let me thank y'all for that. All right, number two, you can catch me on all social media at Armchair GMCJ. And on your way in, if you haven't already, whatever platform you're watching on, please make sure you hit the like button, follow, subscribe. It goes a long ways to help me out here on the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. Okay, so I have eclipsed 1,900 subscribers. Okay, and I'm almost to my goal, my first goal of 2,000. All right, so if you haven't yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and help your favorite armchair GM get to that goal. All right, I thank and I appreciate you. Okay, and speaking of thanking and appreciating people, hey, shout out to the front office members. All right, and today I got everything updated. I did this about maybe 20 minutes before I started. Okay, so this is up to date. Thank you to everybody who is a member of the front office, whether you signed up yourself, whether you were gifted a membership. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you for all the people that are out there gifting memberships. I greatly appreciate all the love and support. All right. So let's get into this mess, y'all. Okay. And as you can see, what I got right here, I think the experiment is over. Okay. I honestly think the experiment is over, but I'll get into that in a minute. Let me get into a couple comments here. SC Pace 4, what's going on? Say, what's up, CJ? In my night class, I'm officially on the Fire Dave Canales train. This franchise won't be serious until that clown is gone. Oh, okay. Got you. Hey, Earl, how you doing, man? What's good with you? What's good? What's good? Thank you for joining. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, the results. The results. Hold on, Nate. What's up, Nate? Nothing is good. Canales is not it. Down by a bunch, third down, and then he run the ball. Yeah, I wasn't feeling that either. I wasn't feeling that either. But yeah, but I appreciate you joining, man. Thank you. Okay, so a lot of things stick out here on this slide for me. Okay, so Bryce Young was 18 for 30, one touchdown, and 150 yards. Drake May was 14 for 17, 203 yards, two touchdowns. Chuba Hubbard had 49 rushing yards. Ramondre Stevenson had 38 for the Patriots. Ted McMillan had 62 receiving yards. Stephon Diggs had 101 receiving yards. And I thought it was funny when he caught the ball and then went to commercial. They played a Cardi B song. But I was waiting for it, though. I know they're going to play at least once in this broadcast. Let me see. Turk Wharton had a sack, but it counted as a sack, but Drake May got tripped up right there at the line of scrimmage. So it was a sack that resulted in a net loss of 0. Okay. Caleb Von Chason. Okay, another former Panther player that goes somewhere else and starts doing stuff. It's amazing that trend that's going on now. So it's what it is. Ashawn Robinson had 6 tackles, 1 solo, and let me see, Gibbons, the linebacker for New England, had 12 tackles, 8 solo. Okay, so all right, team stats. And for me, this is where it gets a little interesting. 326 total yards. We outgained New England in total yards. Okay. Now, a lot of that has to do with they had 128 punt return yards. Y'all. One went for a touchdown and one went for, it might as well have been a touchdown. Sam Martin clipped them up at the last minute inside the 10-yard line or inside the 15. Okay. So yeah, like 120 something punt return yards. Let me see. No turnovers in the game. We had 21 first downs to their 16 penalties. They had 7, we had 5. We were 5 for 14 on third down. 5 for 14. They were 3 for 9. Okay, fourth down, we were 1 for 3. 1 for 3 on fourth down. And they were 1 of 1. Red zone, 2 of 2. Okay. We got into the red zone twice. We scored twice. But the problem with that is we got across midfield probably oh God, I want to say at least every drive in the first half, maybe except for one and a few in the second half, but could not do anything once we got across midfield. Okay. And then the last drive, Bryce was on the bench. Andy came in, drove him down the field. Tommy Tremble got a touchdown, and I think he got hurt. I hope he's okay now today, but I didn't hear Dave say anything about him in the press conference. Time of possession, y'all. Time of possession. We out. Let me see. We held the ball for almost 11 minutes longer than New England. Okay, 11 minutes longer than the Patriots, and we still got our ass beat by 29 points. How do you how do you win by 31 week and lose by 29 the next? I wish somebody would have the answer for me for that. Let me tell you, yo, man. Oh my God. Casey Reeves, what's going on? Total dumpster fire. What's good, CJ? Hey man, one thing's good. I'm still breathing. Yeah, no, life is good, but being a Panther fan sucks. It's time to cut Bryce to it's over for him. I'm starting to agree. Mock draft tonight. Nah, you know what? Like I said, man, I'm not gonna hold y'all long tonight. I'm gonna talk about this mess, and then I'm gonna fire farming simulator back up. I'm gonna go plow some fields or something. Something I can do to get over this mess of a game yesterday. But nah, no mock draft tonight. But it probably coming soon. Probably coming soon. Okay. But let me see. Khalil Wesley, what's going on? When Tepper took over, we didn't have a winning season. He made stupid decisions. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, now mind you, I don't know if y'all saw the way Tepper looked when he walked out of Gillette Stadium. He did not look happy whatsoever. Now mind you, I don't know if this, new Tepper we've seen where it's just like, all right, cool. I'm going back off and let the football people do football stuff. I don't know how long that's going to last. If we keep doing this, okay. Native says Canales don't want to talk about Excel. Something fishy going on. Can't win a game with only one wide receiver. That is the truth. I mean, that is true. That is true. Let me see. Is there any couches on your let me see. Couches or catchers? If he's been catchers, I ain't done a mock draft yet, but it's probably coming. Uncle Leroy, what's going on? So, nephew, it's time for you to bring Curtis Payne out and fire some. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So what's up, Panthers? SC Panthers, boy, 803. What's going on with you, man? What's going on with you? Okay, but yeah, like this right here is just it baffles the crap out of me. And mind you, and no disrespect to Drake May, you know, but I don't think he did anything spectacular yesterday. He did not do anything spectacular. But the key difference is what was in front of him, he took it and he made plays. Okay. He took it and he made plays, which is what you want your quarterback, to do. Which is and I say that because it's frustrating because you see Michael Penix go out there and throw for 300 and something yards and Atlanta wins. Last week, this defense goes out there and completely shuts him down for the most part. Okay, then we come out here with Drake May, 203 yards. And even though we did have those punt returns, one was for a touchdown and one was for another long game, almost went for a touchdown. The defense on those two punt returns, on the one where they had to go about maybe 10 yards to score, that was a really short field. Okay. But for the most part, the defense was getting walked up and down the field with regularity in this game. Okay. And, my thing is, I don't want to hear the, oh, well, they were on the field too long. Let me tell you that our defense was on the field 11 minutes less than the offense. But it still don't make it any better because the offense was on the field 11 minutes more and didn't do a damn thing except for the first drive. The first drive. I have been preaching. Can we get off to faster starts? Okay. My God, I did not know that I would get my wish and we would get off the faster starts, and that would be it. Next time I make sure that I say, it's almost like talking to Gemini, Google Gemini, Chat GPT or something. And it's like you got to be really specific in what you want and what you say, what you type in there. Okay. Because if not, it'll give you something you like, what the hell is this? So maybe next time when I say stuff like that, I'm like, okay, cool. We need to get off the faster starts and be able to maintain the momentum throughout the entire game. Maybe that's what I should have said a couple weeks ago. We got to a fast start last week, but the defense was down. We got to a fast start this week. The defense started off looking good, 3 and out, got the ball back, and yeah, and it just went down the drain from there. So yeah, let me see. Excuse me. Let me see here. Let me see. He said, "Come out with a new show and call it House of Fire." After the game I seen yesterday has me for a loss for word. Yes, yeah, same here. Canales needs to bench him, put Dalton in. He can move. He can. Let me see. One more game is in Bryce. Dalton is the teacher, and Bryce is still a student. Now, mind you, my thing is this: we put Andy Dalton in last year, won one game, and then if I'm not mistaken, Andy lost 4 straight. Okay. So is it a situation where Andy might be able to get in the game, but is Andy going to do any better? Okay, the way things are going now, I don't really think so. And don't take that as well. I know some of y'all are going to take that. It's not me trying to say, oh, we should keep Bryce in, but we put Andy Dalton in. Is that going to do any good? To be honest with you, at this point, if this keeps up, I mean, we got Hendon Hooker on the practice squad. I mean, like if we keep on laying eggs like this, throw him in there, something. But we'll see. We'll get in that in a little bit. Oh, yeah. That's comment in the Hooker time, I'm guessing. It might be, man. It might be. If this keeps going like this, what do we have to lose? You know what I mean? Might as well try something different. Let me see. If someone didn't get fired today, I think someone getting fired tomorrow. And to be honest with you, probably not. Probably not. Probably not. Dave Canales did not look like a man whose job was in danger up at that podium today. Evero should have been fired in the offseason. I agree. And the crazy thing is, I mean, I'm gonna learn to keep my mouth shut. I put a reel on TikTok, and I was like, "Hey, do y'all think we owe Evero apology just yet?" And I stressed just yet. And I was sitting thinking about that just now. I said, "Damn, I should have let that one go. I should have kept my mouth shut and just see if we could do this for more than just 2 games." But after this performance, yeah, nah, we don't owe him an apology just yet. Sit Gary Coleman number 9 on the bench. Alpha and Omega, what's up? I don't know how Evero is still employed. It just doesn't make sense. I I don't know. I don't know. And the thing that's frustrating for me is Evero looked like last week he stepped out of his comfort zone a little bit and tried, did some different things. Me personally, I didn't see that same type of scheme and play calling this week that I saw last week. Because for the most part, Drake May stood back there in the pocket and had all day to do what he wanted to do. Now, mind you, we didn't get a sack on Michael Penix, but we got to Michael Penix. We got to him. We forced him into early throws, forced him into overthrows. We got pressure on him. Now, mind you, now I don't know if it's just because of DJ Wanham, but it's looking like DJ Wanham is a big piece of this defensive line. And I ain't gonna lie, I can't wait for Pat Jones the second to get back as well. Okay, but one thing I will say is they're gonna have to do something with DJ Johnson as well. My God, he gets fooled by every fake, every misdirection, everything. I tried to give him a little bit of grace. He's not on that defensive line, in my opinion. All right, but yeah. So CJ, when do you do a film study? So when you do a film study, you will see hardly anybody got open. I can't blame Bryce for this loss. Well, and I will continue to say this. Okay, I'll continue to say this. I'm not blaming him for everything, and I will never blame him for everything. Okay, but it's getting to the point where you know you can't trust him to do the simple things. When everything is out there in front of him, when he has protection, when he has somebody open, he's consistently not making the plays. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm never going to be that person that say he is the reason for everything that's going wrong with the Panthers. Okay? Because I don't believe that's the case. But we got to have an honest conversation about what we're going to do from here on out. Yeah. I think people sleeping on Hendon Hooker. We'll see. They said Dalton sucks too. Dalton has won how many games in how many years now? It won. This is true. This is true. So hell no, Dalton. I told you before, the red rifle ain't got no bullets anymore. Can't wait for Tony to respond. Yeah, man. Yeah. Let me tell you, I'm gonna have to give Tony, the floor for about maybe 20 minutes. Um, on the Dolphins preview and let him come back and say what he got to say about this game. DJ Johnson should have been gone a long time. Man, let me tell you, should have been gone long ago. I feel you on that one. Me and Tony sat here drafting a few years ago, scratching our heads, wondering why in God's name the Panthers drafted him in the first place. Okay, former tight end, converted to defensive end slash outside linebacker. And we traded 2 picks to jump up to get him. Okay, and nah, nope. 2 years ago, Tepper jumped the gun and traded to draft Bryce Young, gambled our draft capital, traded our best players for draft picks that backfired on us. Looking that way. DJ Johnson sucks. That boy is trash. That man is a disappointment of an NFL player. Like, damn. And my thing is, he sometimes he looks okay on certain run plays, and then other times he just looks lost. And I don't know if it's necessarily all on him. Is he getting the wrong coaching or what? You know what I mean? But hey, we'll see. Let me see. Bryce will not be will not be the QB that can lead us to a championship. Ah, yeah, it's looking that way, Ken 88. It's looking that way. Uncle Leroy, the red rifle ain't no bullets yet. Dalton got something left in the tank. Well, I mean, well, I put it like this: we're not going to see this week because Canales did say that Bryce Young will be starting. Okay, they even asked him about what he considered, giving up the play calling. No, he's going to continue to call plays. He was even asked about Evero's defense. Okay, said he still likes Evero's defense, and it's all about execution. Let me tell you. So, from what I gather from Dave Canales, and Evero, even not today, but in weeks prior, they feel like everything that they're doing is fine, but the execution is the problem. Okay, all their schemes are great, but they got to work on execution. All right, my thing is this: some of these cats who aren't executing need to hit the bench. Okay, they need to hit the bench and they need to put somebody else in there for them. All right. So, my thing is there's no better motivation than being put on the bench. I mean, look what happened to Bryce last year. It enabled him to down the stretch to look like a better QB. Okay. And where that QB has gone, I don't know. All right, but we'll see. Say he's still seeing ghosts. Said, look what Lil Wayne say. He meant to say, no DJ. That's not my DJ. Oh man. Well, but yeah, but the results of this game, as y'all know, just trash. My thing is we outgained them in total yards, time of possession. But where it mattered, it was just a. And I mean, and Canales is right. It's a lack of execution. Even J.C. Horn, was talking about play calls and this and that, and he was like, man, we can't fault Dave on that. He said he calls the plays. It's our job to go out there and execute them. I mean, in which he's right. He is right. They call the plays. They got to go out there and execute them. But at this point, it's some kind of a disconnect between the players and the coaches. I also think it's a disconnect between Dave Canales and Ejiro Evero on, down distance situational football, what they need to be doing. Sometimes I think Dave just gives up, especially on third down. And it's like they asked him about the third down where he ran the ball. He said, well, I thought we saw something that might be able to give us a couple of quick yards. I think he was trying to get about 5 or 6 yards and then go for it, on fourth down. But even still, though, it's just like, dude. But we'll get into that here in a minute as well. If Andy Dalton got something left in the tank, do you know what that means? That his rifle was backed up. Now I need some WD 40. Oh my god. Is there any linebacker in free agency? Finally, we'll see Jimmy Horn. I guess he was under pressure. No Excel this week. Maybe they want to trade first round pick for a second and fourth round. I'm a third and fourth round pick. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he did say Jimmy Horn will be back. Will not be back, but will play this week. So we'll see how that goes for the offense. And to be honest with you, I think it's a situation where Canales still doesn't want to play Jimmy, but I think his hand is forced now as David Moore is hurt. So he might put him back there at punt the kick return. Trevor Etienne is just not doing it. He is not doing it when it comes to these kickoff returns. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see. Let me see. Tepper is responsible for everything. He put this team through turmoil. Yeah, yeah. Get Shador, damn it. I mean, hey, that's an option, but I highly doubt it. I don't know if the Panthers would be so bold to try to do that, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. So let's go ahead and move on. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get y'all out of here real quick tonight because I don't have a lot of good things to say. Okay, so let's talk about the first quarter of the season. Okay. And I'm not even going to do my usual, put the first quarter grade out there and then, give you a little soliloquy and then go to the next slide. No, a big fat F. Okay. A big fat F. Even with us beating the Falcons 30-0. Okay. That is game, one game that you put something good on tape. Then you have 3 games where you shit the bed. Okay. We shit the bed week 1 versus Jacksonville. Week 2, you shit the bed for 3 quarters and then all of a sudden decide that you want to play in the fourth quarter. Okay. I respect the effort. Don't get me wrong. I respect the effort, but it still ended up with what? An L. I'm sorry, this hand. An L. Still ended up with an L. Okay. Again, I respect the effort. All right. And then this game here, like I said, you just come off of beating Atlanta by 30 points, and then you turn around and lose by 29. How do you lose that much focus? How do you get away from your principles, your foundation that much in 7 days to look like that? Okay. I mean, when I tell you, we had a complete game last week, complimentary football all the way around, offense, defense, and special teams. We did that. We saw that. We saw that and decided, you know what? Let's do the exact opposite. Okay. And we went out there and played the most uncomplimentary game I have ever seen from Carolina. At least in a long time. Offense, defense, special teams, just straight ass. Okay, I mean, just terrible. Or as Charles might say, just terrible. Just terrible, terrible, terrible. How do you go from last week to this week? And I give Dave credit. Dave he took the blame for it. He said, this is all on me. You put all this on my shoulders for the way that they went out there and the way they looked. They didn't look prepared. And he said, as the head coach, that's on me. Okay. And I commend Dave Canales for doing that. But dude, you ain't got. I mean, mind you, yeah, you take some of it, but yeah, nah, I'm not gonna put all this on Dave neither. Okay, but yeah, if I said at the beginning of the season that this first quarter of the season would be paramount for the Panthers. Okay, and anything less than 2-2 would just not be acceptable. Okay. The one good thing, at least we're not 0-4. But I mean, hell, the way we played 3 out of 4 games, shoot, we might as well be. And I hate to say that. I'm glad we beat Atlanta. I'm glad we sent them back down 85, with the tails tucked between the legs. But still, like how do you go from that last week to this yesterday? I don't get how a team can be that unprepared. You get what I'm saying? Like I just you got enough plays scripted for one drive, okay, for one drive, and then it all goes in the trash can after that. You got enough good plays for one drive, and that's it. And that is it. Okay. So my first quarter grade for the Panthers is absolute F. I should have put F minus, 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 minus. I should have gave them a daggone I should have gave them an N for negligible. I know I said that wrong. But I wish I give them a lower letter grade than an F. But yeah, man, it's just terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Okay, and let's get into a couple plays here before I move on. Let me get into some comments here. Let me see. Hold on. There was speculations about DJ Moore wanting a trade, nephew. Well, my thing is, if Caleb Williams keeps on playing like he's been playing lately, he might be all right where he at. Let me see. If we trade Bryce Young, we should get Tanner McKee from Philly. Okay. All right. I ain't gonna lie, I don't even know who that is. QJ, what's going on? To see these damn Panthers running my blood pressure up to the moon. Facts. Big facts. What's going on, baby? They need Saturday school before the semester ends. Something. Ain't something. Let me see. Tepper, I've seen enough of Bryce. It's time to cut the cord and bench him. Drake May doing Superman made me that man. Let me say he did that. I was like, yep, this is let me say, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I'm not gonna lie, I'm keeping 100 with y'all. When Fitzgerald doinked that first extra point, and in my mind, I said, you know what? I said that's a wrap. I said this game is done. And I know, and then mind you, we were up 6-0. We were up 6-0. But when he doinked that first extra point, I was just like, that's it. That's a wrap. I hate to feel that way, but it's bad that we're at this point now where the first little thing go wrong, and the first thing come to my mind is, yep, that's a wrap. But it did. It really did. Maybe I'm delusional, but I have faith in Jimmy Horn, Jr. I believe he can give us offensive spark. I hope so. I hope so. Canales is soft, too soft. He make a good history teacher. Now, I will say this. I can't be mad at Dave Canales for being a positive guy. Okay, I can't be mad at him for being a positive guy. Okay, but at the same time, you know when your point is not getting across and things are not being translated the way you want to, and things are not going the way you want to, it might be time to change your approach. All right, and as a supervisor before, I learned that you had to be different ways with different people. Okay. Everybody doesn't, take the same message the same way. You get what I'm saying? I had people where I could just, I could walk by them in the morning, just give them a little head nod, and I knew I didn't have to worry about them for the rest of the day. There were people that they would have to see me at least. I knew I'd have to see them, and they would have to see me at least once a day. Even if it was just a ride by and be like, "Oh, okay, all right, cool." There were people that I have to give pep talks to damn near every day because they wanted to quit. And then there was people I'd have to go and see 3-4 times a day because I knew they weren't worth a crap. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't mind him being positive, but and like I said, we don't know how he is behind the scenes. You know what I mean? But it's just, uh, you get what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. I know Steve Wilkes and Baker had their little spat earlier last week. But I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna lie. I miss that old school, Steve Wilkes approach that he had. And my thing is, and even if it's not Steve Wilkes, like I said, it could be somebody else. I said I'm not out on Dave, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's just like, and like I said, and this is just my opinion. This is my opinion. Sometimes I think he comes off a little too nice. You know what I mean? But I digress. But I get what you're saying, Nader, and I agree. See Horn's uniform still at the dry cleaners. I said, I hate Bryce Young body language when things are going wrong as the captain of the team. No matter what, you have to stay 10 toes down and be a leader no matter how hard it gets. Facts. Facts. I agree. I honestly think Bryce is only good with a coach leader like Nick Saban. Ah, Bryce doesn't seem like a leader himself. Let me tell you. And yes, my wife right here said the exact same thing to me earlier. The exact same thing. He might need a Nick Saban S type coach, to really get him motivated, get him going. Yep. Earl said, should I turn it off in the first quarter and started watching the ATL game? Damn. Canals look decent in Tampa Bay because of Mayfield. And you know what? And I went back and I looked at a little bit of the all 22 from what was it, 2023 when he was the offensive coordinator. And I got to agree with that. I cannot disagree with that, Dig. I cannot disagree with that. And it was the simple fact that, and like I was saying, how even Baker looked last year. Baker would scan the field, even if it was a quick glance, a quick scan. Bryce is locking in onto Ted. Okay. And it's obvious. He's locking into him on a lot of these plays, and he's not even looking anywhere else. And it's getting frustrating. But yeah. Man, I wish we did have Mike Dick. Boy, let me tell you. We need a more established coach. This team needs veteran coaching leadership. Facts. I agree. Brian Flores is the perfect replacement for the DC head coach position. We need him. Let me tell you, boy, man, shoot, I love for Brian Flores to be here. If they moved on from Dave Canales, I would love for them to bring in Brian Flores. I think he got a raw deal down there in Miami, man. Yep. Said Bryce Young 9 is a little baby boy, unfortunately. T-Tom, look at what Liam Cohen is doing in Jacksonville. I said the same thing earlier, T. Thompson. I said the exact same thing. Look at what he's doing. Them jokers are what, 3-1 now? They beat they beat Cincinnati, even though Burrow was out that game. They beat San Francisco yesterday, and they beat us. The only team they lost to Cincinnati. I forgot the other team they beat. Houston. They beat Houston. Yeah. Well, like you said, yeah, exactly. Look at what they doing. Look at what he's doing down in Jacksonville. You are absolutely right. Canals keep talking about Geno Smith. He had 3 interceptions last night. Yeah. All right. But yeah, y'all, my first quarter grade for the Panthers is an F. F. Okay. Like I said, you get your ass handed to you. Basically 3 weeks out of 4. All right. You have one dominant game. Okay, one dominant game. And then you turn that around and do the exact opposite 7 days later. Okay, and that's why in the title I put the Panthers got dog walk. Okay, if y'all don't know what that means, the Patriots sent their mascot out there, put a leash on Sir Purr, walked him down the street, and told him to roll over on his belly. And that's exactly what the Panthers did. They rolled over and got steamrolled. So yeah. All right. Well, let's look at a couple plays here. All right, and let me see. All right, so now this is 3rd and 10. And I think this was in the first quarter. Okay. So, and I apologize. I don't have my little telestrator going. It threw my system into a frenzy last week when I tried it. So I ain't gonna mess with it today. Okay. All right. So as you see here, it is a run. Okay. And Dave Canales admitted today that he thought that they would be able to get 4 or 5 yards or maybe 5 or 6 yards to be able to make it a more attainable 4th down. I think that we're going to go for it to try and keep the drive alive. All right. But my thing is this. Now, this is a run. Okay. So Rico Dowdle gets just, he gets kind of stuffed right here. He runs to the outside. Now, mind you, if you see Hunter Renfrow right there, they're out running their routes. Okay. Mind you, if Hunter Renfrow could have got around and got a block on nobody that's right there next to him, Rico may have been able to make that 5 or 6 yards, in what Canales was wanting to do. All right. But then Icky Man gets a hold of him because Dallas tries to cut back inside, and that play is a wrap. Okay. Hey, and shout out to Will Robinson, man. How you doing? Tip drill Will. He said, "Good Lord, they pissed me off, man." Hey, let me tell you, I'm glad you went in the barbershop and got all your money before you watched that damn game. Hey, making true money. What's like? I'm gonna start overseas. Hey, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Defense and offense quit before halftime. Facts. What's up, Eternal? I watched all 22 wide receivers track. Yeah, the wide receivers did not do themselves any favors in this game. They did it. They really didn't. So it was awful blocking, Will. Just awful. Yeah, it was. Hey, but again, man, thank you for the $5 super chat, Will. As always, I appreciate you, big dog. Okay. All right. So we're going to go to another play. All right. And this is another 3rd down and 10. Okay. Oh, you know what? Hold on. My bad, y'all. Let me start this over from the beginning. Okay, here we go. All right, so Panthers got 5 wide receivers out. I'm sorry, 4 wide receivers out, and Chuba's in the backfield. Okay, so as you can see there, the pocket collapses on Bryce. Hunter Renfro is he's open up there at the top. He tries to get down here to Mitchell Evans, but he's got a barrage of people in his face. All right, so let's take a look at it from the end zone view. All right, Chuba comes back in, makes it look like he's blocking, but he actually goes out on the route. Okay. All right. So you see right here, look at Milton Williams. Okay, look at Milton Williams. If I'm not mistaken, that is Brandon Walton that he is going up against. All right, and he came in for Chandler Zavala after he got hurt. Okay. All right. So he gets look at that, just destroyed. Mind you, should have been the holding call. He got pulled down. He basically grabbed him and pulled him down. Okay. Now, if we go back a little bit, now if you look over on the right side of the screen, number 44 here, Caleb Von Chason. Okay. Mind you, he does like a little stutter step. Okay. And then look what he does to Icky. It's almost like he kind of fell into a spin move, gets past Icky, and that's a wrap. Okay. Now that particular play, I can't really put that on Bryce. Okay, I can't put that one on Bryce. That was just a bad play, bad blocking, all around. Okay. Boom. He did the only thing he could do. All right. Now let's go to another couple plays here. Like I said, I'm gonna get you out of here in a few. All right, another couple plays, and this is the thing that is really, it's really pissing me off with Bryce right now. Okay. All right. So this was the 4th and 5 play. Okay. And as you can see, all right, let me rewind this back. Look at the top of the screen here. Look at Hunter Renfro and Ted McMillan. Okay. These two act like they don't even know what the play is and who's supposed to be where. And then you see Bryce like, hey, no, you're over here. You're over there. Okay. So then they switch again. Then T-Mac comes in motion and goes back out. Okay. Now, again, what I want y'all to look at. So you see they're bringing a little bit of heat here. Okay. So good job by the offensive line on this play of giving Bryce enough time to make a play on this. All right. Now, this was T-Mac the entire way. He stared him down the whole time. This is the thing that's frustrating for me. If you're going to call this play on 4th and 5, okay, Bryce, you have enough time in the pocket. You have enough protection. You have to make these throws. You absolutely have to. Okay. And then on the other hand, too, so if you look at this play as well, I'm sorry, look at the play again, my bad. So it's like 4th and 5. All right. So you got Renfro and Bryson Tremaine. They're both coming across here on these little shallow drag routes. Okay. Tommy Tremble comes around Caleb Von Chase at the bottom of the screen. I don't know what Tommy Tremble is doing, but I don't know if he's trying to make like he's getting interfered with, or whatnot. But when I say, like, look at New England's defense. Okay, the only mistake that they made, they went that single high safety, and Tech got by. I think that's Carlton Davis III. Okay, that was the only mistake. They went that single high safety, and Tech did get past his man, but Bryce overthrew him. But my thing is, 4th and 5. Like I said, I don't know what Tommy Tremble is doing down here, but the Patriots had these two little shallow routes just, completely blocked up. Okay. Dave Canales loves him a comeback route or a curl route. I was sitting there watching this stuff earlier today and a lot of these plays, and I'm like, dang, he was seeing damn near the entire wide receiver and tight end core out on these comebacks, and stop routes. And they come back and they stop and they're just standing there. So yeah, but still, okay, this is the thing that's frustrating me the most. Bryce, you have to make that play. Again, look at this pocket. Okay. When he hikes this ball, hey, and let me tell you this too. Shout out to Rico Dowdle on this play. I gave him straight up hell last week about not being able to block. But shout out to him on this play. And if y'all take a look at it, okay, and watch number 53, Rico stood him up, gave Bryce just enough time to make a throw. All right. And that's what I'm saying. When he has these opportunities, he has to make these throws. This is the thing that is most frustrating for me about Bryce right now. It's just like, dude, you got to be able to do the things that are there in front of you. You know what I mean? When you don't have a lot of pressure in your face, when you have an open wide receiver, you have to make it happen. Okay? And he's consistently not hasn't been making it happen. Even in the game last week. I said last week, there were a couple plays. We got beat. I'm sorry, we got beat. We beat them by 30. We probably could have beat them by close to 40. Okay, if Bryce Young would have just put the ball out in front of a couple of wide receivers and they could have scored. Okay, but my thing is this: it's just like, damn, like, bruh, you got to be able to do the basics. Like, please do the basics. You know what I mean? So we'll see. All right. So another play I had right here is 4th and 2, and I think this one is even more frustrating than the last one. Okay. Now, mind you, I'll show you the end zone view of this in a second. Okay. Because he looks to the left ever so slightly. All right. My thing is this: look at Chuba Hubbard at the top of the screen, wide open. Okay. And mind you, excuse me, he may not have got the touchdown, but he damn sure would have got the first down. And the thing is, and this is just one of those like, okay, Bryce, just put the damn ball out there. Even if you throw it slightly behind him or he has to turn around and get the ball, this should be an easy catch. Okay. But he doesn't look that way and throws it in the ground. Okay. Again, 4th down, Patriots get the ball. All right. And again, okay. Now, if y'all look at Bryce, okay, now look. He looks that way for a brief second. He looks to his left for a brief second. Okay. And then he moves on. All right. If he would have looked back over Chuba's way, back at Chuba's way and saw where he was at, he probably could have hit it. Okay. But and again, on this play, it also looked like there was some confusion, and with Ted and Hunter Renfro running their routes. Because I do believe they actually ran into each other. Okay. And then look at actually shoot, one of the Patriots players took the other Patriot player out. But look how close Ted and Renfro are right there. Okay. And then if you let the play go through, so Bryson Tremaine's man just knocks Hunter Renfro over. And my thing is this. Now I don't know if Bryce was just getting rid of the ball here, but even still though, if you take this and rewind it back some, my thing is now he's looking. Okay. I don't know if he could see Ted or not, but he could have lofted that ball over man to Ted or done something with it. Something with it. But my thing is this, and I'll go back to this right here. Look at Chuba. Look at Chuba, top of the screen, wide open. You got to be able to scan the field, Bryce. You've got to be able to scan the field, and he is not doing it. He is not doing it at all. He's leaving so many points on the board. People are wide open, and he's not hitting them. So, but yeah, man, yeah, it's frustrating. It's highly frustrating. Like I said, and again, I'm not gonna sit here and put the whole blame of this game on Bryce Young. Okay. But that leads me to my next slide here. All right. Panther Dog, what's going on with you, man? How you doing? But yeah, okay. So my thing is this. I think we got a decision to make. As a fan base, and like I say as a fan base because we're not going to convince Tep or anything to make these decisions. All right. But my thing is Bryce or Dave, because I've been hearing a lot about Dave Canales today. Mind you, I didn't agree with a lot of his play calls. Okay. Going back and looking at all 22, I don't agree with a lot of his concepts because he'll have 4 wide receivers all running the exact same route, locked up. And my thing is, and where in God's name is Bryce supposed to go? Okay. But on the other hand, you have the times where he dials up a decent play. Bryce gets decent protection and he craps the bed. Okay. So my thing is like by now, I do think we have to have we have to make a decision as the Carolina Panthers. Just say if we were running it, okay. My thing is, do you move on from Bryce or do you move on from Dave? Okay, and I didn't put Evero up here because I mean I think he's gone at the end of the season. You know, if he keeps it up like this. Okay. Now, mind you, he's had two good games. He's had two bad games. Okay. You know, so I think the jury is still out on him. Well, not for us. Okay. I think most of us want him gone. All right. The way Dave Canales talks, he loves Evero's defense, and they just got to execute. Okay. But my thing is this. Um, if we keep on going on like this, I would say, and I would say you keep Dave and you move on from Bryce. Okay. Because my thing is this: let Dave go out there and get him a quarterback that he wants to fit, that he thinks will fit in his system. Okay. Now, mind you, Dave inherited Bryce Young. He's had last year. He's had 4 games this year. And by some of the play calling, okay, in some of these certain situations, to me, it seems like he doesn't trust Bryce. Okay. It is what it is. To me, in my opinion. Okay. I don't think that Dave Canales trusts Bryce in this offense. All right. It was all good in the offseason. Okay, it was all good in the offseason, but when the rubber has met the road this year, we're spinning. We got enough traction for 1 game. We went to New England and we started spinning again. Okay, you know my thing is we've had what almost three, it's year 3 for Bryce. You know, mind you, I'm still pulling for the kid because I mean he's going to play next week, and I mean at this point I think he's going to have to, have some games like he did the first 2 of last year before they would decide to bench him again. 'Cause I think if he gets benched again, it's a wrap. Okay. It's if he gets benched again, it's a wrap. You might as well just leave him on the bench and then figure out what you're gonna do with him in the offseason. All right. Like I said, I'm still rooting for Bryce, but at this point, if I had to make this decision right now, I say you move on from Bryce and you let Dave go out there and get a QB, that he thinks can run his system well. Okay. And then my thing is because I feel like this, I think it's more of a risk to keep going on with Bryce like it is now, and then we have another year of this, and then we're all sitting here having these same conversations again next year. You know what I mean? Like I said, you go out there, and the thing is, I don't know if there's a quarterback, in this year's draft that the Panthers will be like, we got to go out there and get that guy. You know what I mean? But my thing is, there are plenty of teams out here with quarterbacks that might be what Dave Canales wants for his system. And like I said, and I'm just speaking my opinion. I don't know if this is the case with Dave, and Bryce. But my thing is this: we've seen enough. Me personally, I've seen enough. Okay, I've seen enough. And like I said, I will not blame Bryce for every single thing. Okay, we have a lot of problems on this team. A lot of problems. We have problems on the defense. We have problems on offense. And as yesterday, we had problems on special teams, which special teams is one of our better units, for the whole season so far. All right. But my thing is this: Bryce is not our only problem. But on offense right now, I get the feeling that not the feeling, but I think he is our biggest problem on offense. Okay. And he is probably the thing that we need to address first. Okay. We have got to, and the crazy thing is, I think Bryce, if the Panthers let him go or whatever, and mind you, he's number one pick, so he got a $30 million contract guaranteed. So I don't know if the Panthers is just gonna let him go, but they bring somebody else in here, or even if they were to let him go or trade him or whatnot. I always say this: you get the right people with the right coach and the right system, he might go somewhere else and be able to look a lot better than he has in Carolina. Okay, he might do it. But I think the thing that we got to, and I know a lot of people are already there. A lot of people are already there. Trust me, I talk to them all the time. But you know, it's kind of it is what it is now. It is what it is. All right. I hate to say it, but yeah, we Panther Nation, we gonna have to move on. We're definitely gonna have to move on. Okay. And like Diggett said earlier, you know, Canales had the success, you know, in Tampa Bay, you know, because of Baker. And again, another former Carolina Panther, you know, who came here and could not get right in Carolina and goes to Tampa and has been flourishing for two and some change years. Look at Sam Darnold. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie. I thought we keep Sam Darnold, let them run it back, see what we can do. Okay, Sam Darnold goes out to San Francisco, doesn't really play, goes to Minnesota. JJ McCarthy gets hurt. What does Sam Darnold do? Lead them to a 15-2 record. Okay, what's he doing out there now? Seattle, ball. Okay, so at some point it's just like, you know, is it the players or is it the organization? You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm just at the point now. It's just like we got to make a decision. Okay, we've got to make a decision. And like I said, the thing that's frustrated me the most, especially with Bryce this year, is that we saw him make these plays later on in last season. Okay, we saw him make these plays. Okay, and then we saw a lot more of what looks like, you know, creative play calling from Dave Canales. You know, down the distance, situational. You know what I mean? And it seemed like that has all kind of gone out the window as well. But it might be a situation where, like a lot of people are saying, they may not trust Bryce. You know, and right now Bryce is not really giving him any reason, you know, to trust him. You know, like I said, it's a lot of problems on this team. I'm not specifically blaming Bryce, but at this point, I think he is the problem that we do need to sort out first. Okay, he he's our biggest problem on offense, y'all. He's definitely our biggest problem on offense, and I think we do need to address that first. All right, like I said, I wish him the best. I hope he could turn this thing around. I really do. I'm not praying for him to do bad for the rest of the season. You know, that's the last thing I want. But if it keeps going on like this, yeah, we're gonna have to do something. All right. And let me get back into some comments here. Panther Dog said, "What's up? How you doing?" So this is 100% Dave's fault. I mean, Bryce sucks, but it's not his fault. Receivers are running to each other. Facts. I got you. I got you. But on that same play, you had your running back to the left, wide open. Okay. If not for a touchdown, he would have got way past that first down marker. Way past it. Okay. Digger said Bryce and Dave. Mr. Dungy Doors, I don't think Bryce will get an extension, and we will be looking for linebackers, QB, O line, and D line A step. Yeah, yeah. Bryce has done. He's done absolutely nothing to warrant the Panthers to be like, you know what? Let's go ahead and give him that fifth year option. No, absolutely not. Absolutely. So we just get rid of everyone, and if we don't win at this point, it's the scouts. I don't think Tepper likes the strong man type coach. He probably don't. He probably don't. That's probably why he got rid of Wilkes. You know, so we'll see. We'll see. Tepper has control issues now. Yeah, he does. He does. Move on from Dave. He cannot get this opportunity again in his life. Ouch. If Evero didn't get fired after last year, then why would he get fired after this season? That's a good point. That's a good point. Let me tell you, if we get to the end of this season, yeah, Canals is still the coach, y'all know Evero's coming back. You know he's coming back. You know, because my thing is all this smoke that Dave is spitting out right now, you know, yeah. Yeah, he loves the defense. He loves it. We just got to execute. So let me see. I say we move on from both. Canales is not bold, and Bryce has talent, but limited in Canales' offense. Facts. Facts. I wouldn't trust Bryce. I wouldn't trust Bryce each other. He has botched every single big time throw except one this season. Yes, and that's the problem. And the thing is, like I said, Drake May only threw 17 times. But when the opportunities came for Drake May to push the ball down the field, you know what Drake May did? Drake May found his receivers and connected. Okay. He found his receivers and connect. There was one play where Stephon Diggs caught the ball. He did a stutter step towards the outside, turned Mike Jackson all the way around. Mike Jackson was trailing, trying to catch up with him. It was too late. Okay. Everybody else on that play was absolutely covered by the Panthers defense, but that one player. Drake May had the protection, and he found the one player that was open. Okay. Hit him in stride, got all the way down inside the 10-yard line, if I'm not mistaken. I feel sorry for our fans in New England, man. Yeah. Well, let me tell you, if Tepper wanted a winner, then Harbaugh would have been here. Yep. Said we aren't going to bench Bryce because Bryce is going to get us a top 10 pick for a new quarterback. But to be honest with you, and like I said earlier, who out there this season, can we bring in? If we drafting a quarterback. I know a lot of people talking about Sellers from um South Carolina, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm not completely sold on him. I haven't looked at too many other people, but I ain't completely sold on him. Just let me see. Young Soldier One, what's going on with you? Say he got handed Bryce. He didn't want. He's not a good QB. He's like a lucky punch. Lucky punch. Yeah, he did get handed Bryce. He definitely did get handed Bryce, and that's why I say, like I said, a lot of people calling for Dave Canales to be gone because of his play calling. He's too soft. A lot of people calling for Bryce to be gone. But my thing is this: we drafted Bryce. He had a terrible first year. Okay, you go out, you put the money in the offensive line. He comes out the second year. He still looks scared, even in clean pockets. He gets his act together at the end of last year, starts looking better. Okay. Even though I know he's not going out there throwing for 300 yards every game. Okay. He looks better. He gets his stuff together. But for whatever reason, that's not translating into this year. Okay. It's like, so he learned how to step up in the pocket this year, but he forgot how to throw the wide open receiver. Like we can't have that. That's why I say, if I had to make a choice, I'm gonna stick with Dave and see if he can't get a quarterback he wants in here to fit his system. Okay. Let me see. Would it be too far fetched to say let Canales go and bring back Willis? I'd be all for it. If they let Canales go, I say bring back Steve Wilkes. I said Willis. I'm sorry, Wilkes. Steve Wilkes. Let me tell you, I am all for it. At least one thing you getting with Steve Wilkes. You not, like he said, you're not getting no buddies. In that statement he made, a buddy is going to tell you what you want to hear. He said a true friend is going to tell you what you need to hear. Okay, whether it's good or bad. Yeah, I would not mind Steve Wilkes coming back. Let me see. CJ Canales has no system. Can't even talk about what is Panthers' identity. Our identity right now is lack of execution. If we had an identity, according to Dave Canales, one word he has said: lack of execution and fundamentals. Okay, we are a team that cannot fundamentally execute. ATL, what's up? Said look like twins in that pick. Yeah, man. Let me tell you, they both look like they over it. Let me see. You see 8 Melo free. What's going on? I can't see them bringing in a third coach for Bryce. If they release him or trade him after June 1st, 2026, the dead cap would be about 6 million. Ah, okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah, you right. Yeah. Yeah. This would be a third one if they bring somebody else and keep him. Yeah. Okay. Said don't bogart the good shit, ATL, and pass it around. Said, nah, Wilkes, along with the other coaches, probably don't want to work with Tepper anymore. Probably not. Probably not. I understand Cam Ward has been sucking out loud so far this rookie season. Yeah, he has to. He definitely has to. New England had more punt return yards than Bryce had passing. God almighty. Woo! Hold on. Hold on, wait, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Damn, that's crazy. Oh my goodness. And the thing is, even with that, like Bryce had 120 yards last week, but we had a win. And the thing is, and we did okay in the run game. Okay, we did okay. We had if I'm not mistaken, hold on, team stats. Uh, you see, we had 129 yards rushing. Okay, Chuba had 40, ETN had 33, Rico had 32, David Moore had 12 on that first play until he got his arm snapped, and then Bryce had 3. Okay, so we were, somewhat effective, running the ball. But the thing is that, just like last week, if the defense is not out there getting stops every play, you know what I mean? Like they were completely dominant last week. Okay, completely dominant last week. All right. My thing is this: even we scored a touchdown beginning the game, we scored a touchdown near the end, but in between, we were actually moving the ball down the field and getting field goals. Okay, we were getting across the 50-yard line this game, but we were getting to like the 40 and getting stopped. Penalties, and then Fitzgerald missed a kick that he would have made last week by about 2 or 3 yards. He shorted the ball about 2 or 3 yards this week. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's what it is. It's heartbreaking. Solo Biscuit, what's going on? So can't have a West Coast mentality and attitude for our team. Yeah, yeah, I feel you. But yeah, man, like I said, I didn't have much for y'all tonight. This is yeah, this ain't looking good, man. This ain't looking good. And then the thing is, in a lot of these games, me included, I'm like, okay, cool. And my thing is, so you go out there against the 26th ranked pass defense and look this bad. Okay. I could understand if you didn't have the most stellar game on the ground. New England has the second ranked run defense. All right. But you go out there and look like this, and offensive line, receivers, and Bryce included, they all go out there and look like this against the 26th ranked pass defense. It's yeah. Miss Unky Dory said, I still think the O line gave it too much pressure, and we didn't use that to our advantage. Facts, facts, facts. Like I said, I'm not putting it all on him, but yeah, you are right. I think the O line gave up. Shoot, Bryce had 30 dropbacks, and I want to say that 17. They gave up 17 pressures. So over half his dropbacks, he got pressure on him. So yeah, that's not a winning formula. The Cali connection. But yeah, man. But like I said, hey, I told you, I'm get y'all out here quick tonight, man. I got some I got some farmland in Iowa to go finish planting here real quick. Panther Dog said it's because everyone worked with the Falcons coach and knows all Raheem Morris's ins and outs. We shall beat the Falcons as long as Evero is here and Morris is their head coach. Hmm? Okay, I got you. I got you. Yeah, I got you, Panther Dog. Okay, bet. But yeah, but like I said, man, it ain't a whole lot to talk about tonight. We played like straight butt cheeks. Besides the first drive for the offense and the first drive for defense, everything went to crap after that, and it was just a bad day. A bad day for Panther Nation. Embarrassing. You win by 31 week, you lose by 29 the next week. You go from being prepared and on point for a team to being unprepared, undisciplined, lack of effort, in all 3 phases of the game. And it's crazy because on that first punt return, Mark Schler said it right. He thinks that the Panthers punt team was expecting old boy to fair catch that ball, and then when he didn't, caught him off guard. All right, and then my thing is, and then shoot, they turned around and let the crap happen again. So yeah, yep. And Sunky Doris said we still have a chance to win out division. Just think about that, man. No, we don't. No, we don't. I love you, death, Mr. Hunky Dory. No, we don't. No, nah. No, we don't. That is not happening. Let me tell you. I hope I can eat my words on that, but I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Yeah, you're right. It's getting worse at this point. It's definitely getting worse. Definitely getting worse. All right, Panther Nation. Like I said, y'all, that's all I got for you tonight. I appreciate everybody joining me. Again, just a piss poor effort from the Panthers yesterday in all three phases of the game. And we'll see what we got going on from here on out. My thing is, then you got a Miami team, especially, and you got Miami's coach who needs this game. Okay. My thing is, I don't want us to get back to being everybody's get right team like we were last year. We were everybody's get right team. We were everybody's team where their running back came in here and got their most rushing yards of the season, including Rico Dowdle, who's on our team now. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that team where everybody comes in here and gets their gets their momentum, gets their confidence back, and then goes, and like Jackson and do what they doing. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see. But as always, I want to thank everybody for joining me. Thank you to all the front office members. Thank you to everybody who has gifted memberships and everything that you have done. You can catch me on all social media at Armchair GMCJ. Okay, and I appreciate all the love and support. Before y'all get out of here, if you have not, please, whatever platform you're on, you're watching, like, follow, subscribe. Okay, I'm close to my goal of 2,000 subscribers, excuse me. And I appreciate all the love and support. Okay. Let me see a couple more. Said monkey shit fights is halftime show would be entertaining, but they probably steal the show. If we lose to Miami, we need to play for draft picks. Said we are literally second in the division. Well, now as far as division wins, yeah, but let me see. Atlanta still has a better record than us. So technically, so we're third, if I'm not mistaken. Atlanta's 2-3. We are 1-3. No, I'm sorry. Atlanta's 2-2. Okay, Atlanta's 2-2, and we're 1-3. So I think it's Tampa, Atlanta, and then us. So I'm not. Hold on. You know what? Let me look that up. Look, I'm about to get off of here now. Now Panther Dog got me looking up stuff. Okay, division. Yeah, we're third. Yeah. Now, mind you, we're 1-0 in the division. But the Bucks are 3-1, Atlanta's 2-2, we're 1-3, and the Aints are 0-4. All right. But yeah. But all right. Let me see. Or tied for first. Look, you tied for first in the fantasy league. All right, y'all. But again, let me get on up out of here. I appreciate our love and support, everybody. On your way out, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. All right. Panthers get drugged by 29 points in New England. And hopefully we won't see the same thing next week. All right. Join me this Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Big Cousin Tony will be on here, and we'll go ahead and get the preview done for that game as well. All right. So, as always, Panther Nation, I'm going to leave y'all with three things. Number one, y'all be good. Number two, y'all be safe. And number three, as always, Panther Nation, it's getting harder and harder by the day, but hey, keep pounding, y'all.